This video lecture is for the chapter on development of ballistic skills. Ballistic skills are those skills which a person applies a force to an object in order to project the object through the air. Examples of ballistic skills are throwing, kicking, and striking. They have very similar developmental patterns because the principles that are involved in these activities are very similar. The chapter focuses mostly on overhand throwing. There are many different types of throws. One could throw with two hands, one hand, underhand, overhand. They could also throw sidearm. The type of throw a person uses depends on the sport that's involved, the constraints that are involved, the size, the weight of the ball. This chapter is going to focus on one-hand overarm throw, which is the most common type of throw in sports games. Researchers assess the development of ballistic skills usually with the end result, meaning accuracy, distance, and ball velocity of the throw. However, there are some weaknesses with these assessments. First of all, utilizing very small children and very small distances might be reasonable, but as the child gets older, using very small distances might result in 100% accuracy. Therefore, the older the child gets, the greater the distance of the throw, or the smaller the target should be in terms of assessment. Furthermore, it could be the case that two children have equal throwing skills, but very different distance scores because one child is bigger and stronger than the other. Therefore, the most important thing is not necessarily the end result of the throw, it's how the child is actually throwing. Rather than using product or outcome measures to assess the development of ballistic throwing, such as accuracy, distance, and ball velocity, the focus has been on process measures which involve movement patterns and developmental sequences which contribute to the successful development of the movement. When one compares early childhood throwing attempts to advanced throwing, one will notice certain throwing patterns, especially of those of children under 3 years old. Typically, they tend to use only arm action. The individual will seldomly step into the throw or use much trunk action. The child will position the upper arm with the elbow up or forward and executes the throw by elbow extension alone. If we can study the characteristics of a proficient throw, we can understand the limitations of an individual who can't throw as well. Characteristics of a proficient throw are weight shifting from the back foot to the front foot, trunk rotation, the arm makes a circular downward backswing for a windup, the leg opposite the throwing arm steps forward, the trunk rotates forward to add force to the throw, the trunk bends laterally away from the side of the throwing arm, the upper arm forms a right angle with the trunk and comes forward just as the shoulders rotate to a front-facing position. The thrower holds the elbow at a right angle during the forward swing, extending the arm when the shoulders reach the front-facing position. The forearm lags behind the trunk and the upper arm during the forward swing. The follow-through dissipates the force of the thrower over distance. Dissipating force after release allows maximal speed of movement while the ball is in the hand. The thrower carries out the movement of the body segment sequentially, progressively adding contribution to the force of the throw. Forward step and pelvic rotation, upper spine rotation and upper arm swing, upper arm inward rotation and elbow extension, release, and then follow through.